fellow debaters or to one of my fellow sisters like Monto Gas Academy. You really deserve appreciation. At the same time, ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate our little sisters that have presented well today. What you have done is something that really good. Your story touches me and your poem really touches me. With these, ladies and gentlemen, what I say, I'm a man who speaks for people. I speak for others, including me also. At this point of time, I may love to present for you a poem that states, disability is not inability. And in fact, disability is not inability. Or am I lying? I believe I am not lying. It reads, disability is not inability. In my vision, I saw myself flying with birds, expressing my rights and freedom. But people treat me like an egg. When I opened my eyes, I saw myself drowning in the presence of the lion in the jungle and all creatures. My rights and freedom being violent and treated like a child without mother, being gotten in a trash bin. Disability is not inability. If I can read, speak, and listen, and see the sky moving, then how am I disabled? If I was born by a human mother, then how am I different? The loss of love of humanity is in us like wolf. I feel seeking freedom and liberty, but why do people run away from me? Why do people call me disabled when I see my ability? In Hebrew chapter 12 verse 13, make the labor pass for your feet. For the lame not to be disabled, but rather be healed. Why do I even suffer when people will be equal before God? Why when people will all die and be buried in the same dust? Disability is not inability. Bring back my rights and freedom. Happiness. How do you want me to blame God? Should I ask for the second version of mine? Should I yell and shout to be heard? Why do people treat me like a stranger? My disability is not my inability. Allow my soul to breathe and be treated like a human. Ladies and gentlemen, in most of the countries like South Sudan and the rest of the countries that I does not know, most of the people with disabilities, their rights are being violent. They are not given freedom of speech. They are not given rights to express. They are not given each and one that they want. And in fact, we are all equal before God. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point of time, I want to leave 3 or 2 of the most important advices or advices to most of the people that are living here today. At first, I'm going to tell you that the quote that we always say in English that don't judge a book by its cover. In meaning is here. When you see me short like this, don't believe that I'm just a short person, but believe that I'm your president of tomorrow. Ladies and gentlemen, you have to know that anything that person can do, the physical disability or the internal disability is not inability. Ladies and gentlemen, if we have any disabled person apart from me here, can I see you? I'm sorry that they are not there, but me alone. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say, if you are a disabled person listening to me today, I don't want you to be addicted in most of the things like taking drugs or alcohol. I want you to be coming to school. Haven't you seen me? Am I not smart? Am I not speaking in front of you here? But if I were not, I'm in a school whereby I'm expressing my rights. I'm talking to people who listen to me and they'll put what I say in practice. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to say to my disabled people, don't believe what any other person said about you. I believe when I'm talking right now, there are most of the people that say, what is he saying? This short boy. But with this, you have to know that what I say is something that is more than a sword. I want to tell you something that will change your life. My disabled people, what other person say about you is not something that will change, it's not something that will reduce your life or that will change like the way you be. Let me tell you, when any person boots you or one person laughs at you, just think that he or she is playing with something that is different from you. Don't take it into consideration, and if you take it into consideration, it will now turn you into an animal, not human being again. For us with the human beings, we does not consider what the other person says about you, but what we consider most is what you do, whether it is important or it is less important. Ladies and gentlemen, at this point of time, I believe I have consumed most of your times, but I want to tell you, if we have most of the government officials today, or if you have anybody that stands for the right of everyone, I want to tell you, hear the cries of the disabled people. We are considering most of the things, but we have left disabled people behind in the villages. We don't want them to bring them to the same table that we are. Why are we leaving them by? With this, I want to tell you, we have to bring them forward. I appreciate the administration of the school that I'm in. Amazing Grace, they offered me a scholarship for 4 years, and that's so important. And I want to say, if we have most of the schools like Montogas, aren't you to be helping the disabled people? Why won't you just give them a scholarship, even though they will be studying for 1 year or 1 day, ladies and gentlemen? I can say, at this point of time, it still remains that disability is not inability, and we all are equal before God. And thank you so much.